Hello, everyone. This is Dr. David Pascal in Cary, North Carolina. I am treating chiropractor at the Pascal Health Institute. Um, this is just finishing up my 37th year, another month here of treating patients. And actually, tomorrow will mark the my 31st anniversary of moving to Cary. When I moved from California, I actually moved into my house the day before Thanksgiving. So really easy to remember. And here we are on Tuesday, November 26th, the day before Thanksgiving. So today I am excited to talk about a couple of my favorite therapies for helping people with complex regional pain syndrome, and that is the Neurosage and Live O2. So I'd like to start with Neurosage, just an amazing machine used by neurologists and chiropractors all around the country. It's kind of like a supersonic video game. We have a computer that has several different games that each stimulate different parts of the brain. So first we figure out what part of your brain needs to be supported. Do you need some help with cognitive function? Do you need pain relief? Of course, you have CRPS, so pain relief is going to always be something that we cycle through. But the way that this machine works is by stimulating the brain in many different ways. So we've got this giant TV on a wall. We have our patients stand on a vibration board. Of course, have said this in my past videos, not everyone can do every therapy in my office. So if you are a person that cannot handle vibration, of course, we are not going to give you vibration. If you can't handle um, uh, unbalanced surfaces, we're not going to do that. If you are unable to stand, then we will have you sit. Uh, we have a standing vibration board, we have a sitting vibration board. Some people can't do that. We put their wheelchair in front of the screen, and then we pick a certain game, and then you, the patient, will be running. You could be running through a maze. You could be doing certain tasks where you're trying to hit different targets, or you are like on a bobsled. But each thing is designed, each game is designed to stimulate a different part of your brain. There will also be audio portion to that for a lot of the games. There will be different sensory imbalance, right? So as I mentioned, we may be on a vibration board. You might have one foot on a vibration board and one foot on a wobble board. We will, put different cold lasers on your body, different parts, or maybe some of our gemstones. It all depends on what we are trying to stimulate or to destimulate, to normalize. That is a totally individual thing. So we love our Neurosage. Those sessions, beginning to end, typically are about 30-minute interval. And we've had this for about 6 years now. That is our Neurosage. You can go Google it. It's an independent company. I don't own any stock in it. I don't have any vested outcome in the success of that company except for how it benefits my patients. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about today is Live O2. Live O2, like most of our modalities, is truly a miracle machine. We know from most of the research that has come out over the last couple decades that the number one best way to heal any type of brain issue is with oxygen. Now, there are all sorts of ways and levels to get oxygen into the brain. One simple way is to breathe. You know, some people just are not good breathers, so we can retrain how to take deeper breaths, and that can make a big difference for people. Another way is have someone sit and breathe air through an oxygen mask from an oxygen tank or an oxygen concentrator, and that has been proven to be very efficacious for a lot of people. Another way is to do an oxygen chamber. I used to have a oxygen chamber. They're very interesting. You go into this giant tent, basically, and then we increase the atmospheric pressure in in this chamber. And what that does is that pressure makes the oxygen molecules smaller. Actually makes every single molecule smaller, but but we're concerned about oxygen right now. So it makes our oxygen molecules smaller so they can squeeze through all the different barriers that we have and get into the cells better and get deeper into the cells. So hyperbaric chambers are a big thing. Like I said, I used to have one for about a year and a half, but here's what I don't like about hyperbaric chambers. Hyperbaric chambers treatment time is typically 90 minutes. That's a long time to be doing one thing. Second, for it to be truly effective, someone needs somewhere north of 90 treatments, maybe 100 treatments. That is an awful lot of treatments. So yes, hyperbaric chambers are quite effective at driving oxygen deep into the cells. However, treatment time is very long and the number of treatments required to be effective is astronomically high. Live O2 is a little different. Live O2, oh, I also did not mention EWAT. Maybe some of you have heard of EWAT, which stands for Exercise with Oxygen Therapy, EWOT. You can Google it. And with EWAT, what you're doing, instead of just sitting and breathing oxygen, you are exercising while you're breathing oxygen. So, of course, if you're exercising while you're breathing oxygen, your need for oxygen goes up. You're breathing oxygen, so you're getting more oxygen on board. And we've got, decades of research showing how great that is. But about 10 years ago, someone decided to get a little smarter on how to deliver oxygen deeper into our brains. And this is what they came up with, the live O2. And what a person does is they put on an oxygen mask. They start to do exercise. We have a couple different exercise machines in our office. We have a hydraulic machine for legs or upper body. We have a recumbent bike, but we want a person to be, lightly, moderately exercising, which increases the body's need for oxygen. No problem, because you're breathing oxygen, right? Very similar to EWAT. However, the next step is we turn off the patient's oxygen while you're exercising. So what that does is you're still exercising, your body's burning oxygen, your need for oxygen is elevated because you're exercising, but now there's no oxygen. So what happens? The amount of oxygen in your bloodstream starts dropping. It goes from, 100 or 99, 98, down to 95, down to 90, down to 85. Now the body and the brain is starting to panic, right? Because that oxygen level is too low, down to 80. Now the body's like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? This is a terrible situation. And what this triggers, this low level of oxygen in a high demand performance, triggers the arteries in your brain to expand because the number one thing your body wants to do, the first thing it's trying to save is your brain. So it triggers all the arteries in your brain to get as big as they can so that they can get as much blood in and what little oxygen there is, just get as much as they can into the brain and as deep as possible. Well, when all these doors are opened up and the patient's kind of struggling, then we throw a switch and we have this giant reservoir of oxygen and it goes pouring into the brain, deep, deep, deep into the tissues because, as I mentioned, all the arteries and capillaries are wide open. So then our blood oxygen levels shoot back up, skyrocket back up to 99, 100%. Everything's great. The brain goes, hey, we're going to live for another day. And then we let the person enjoy that for 30 seconds or a minute or so, and then we throw the switch again and we turn off the oxygen. So the whole process starts all over again. The percentage of oxygen in the bloodstream goes down, down, down. This triggers vasodilation that opens all the doors. And as a person is struggling with that, then we turn the oxygen back on and the oxygen floods back in. And so a live O2 session from warm up to cool down might be 45 minutes. And the struggling part is, about 20 minutes of that. And it's just this back and forth of giving the oxygen enough blood, enough oxygen, challenging the brain, having the oxygen levels drop, opening up the capillaries with that triggering because of the decreased oxygen, and then flooding the tissues again with oxygen. And I have seen amazing results with this. Patients that have cognitive issues, patients that have brain fog, people that have low energy, when, people with dementia, people with MS, people with CRPS, when we have them do the live O2, we get dramatic change. So those are the two things I wanted to talk to you about today, the Neurosage and the live O2. If we have some questions, I'll be glad to answer them. If not, and you're just watching this on delay, feel free to, if you do have a question, write it in the comments or email us at drpascalhelps@gmail.com or call us 919-380-8000. I don't know what this says for next week.
Yeah.
Movement disorders.
We can do that one.
Oh, I get a pick. Wow, I get to choose. So next week is our week after Thanksgiving, and we will have to look at that and keep you in suspense as to what we're going to decide, but we will post something in advance of that to let you know exactly what we're going to talk about. I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. This is the time for gratitude, and I am so thankful to all of you that are entrusting part of your health and well-being in my hands or in my knowledge. We are trying to help as many people as we can. Please tell your friends, people in other support groups, people that you know with CRPS, or people that they know with CRPS, about our page, Dr. Pascal CRPS Solutions. We are trying to help all the people that we can get out of pain with this terrible disease. So we will see you next week, every Tuesday, 1 o'clock. Take care.